Strangely enough, nobody believed that I actually had a book contract.
Really, it's really a good story.
I was blind, but now I see. I wasn't high, wasn't wired, just clear. I knew what I needed to do and how to do it. What I could do with my day was limitless.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining the live. I'm just kind of trying to get on with some work today, so if you need somebody to help motivate you to get something done, let's do that together. I'm going to be focusing mainly on what I'm trying to do here today, so if you do have any questions about tabletop role-playing games, history, fantasy, all those kind of nerdy things, make sure to throw it in the chat and we'll have a conversation. But in the meantime, let's get some work done together. How about that? Hey, how's it going? Lovely to see people saying hi in the chat. How are we all doing? And we've got a like already. Thank you so much. Like I said, guys, so I predominantly make history and fantasy content. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, make sure to give me a follow. If you have any questions, thank you so much for giving the like. Really appreciate that. 2 likes, amazing. So yeah, if you enjoy that kind of thing, make sure to give me a follow. But in the meantime, if you've got something productive you want to do like be productive with me. How about that? Thank you so much. Appreciate that, guys. What legends. Thank you very much. That's great to hear. Hello. Alfredo. No, I'm English. I'm from the UK. Where are you from? Indonesia. Oh, my partner's from Indonesia. I was very recently in Bali. Thank you very much for subscribing. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I've spent a bit of time in Bali quite recently. I really, really like it. I like Indonesia a lot. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for all the comments. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for the likes as well. And for following me. That's really, really kind of you. Bosnia, there you go. What do I see? I'm just working on a business plan at the moment. So I'm just looking at my screen and seeing what I can do with this business plan. But if you've got anything you want to do in terms of productivity, do it along with me. That's the goal of this today. Basically to hang out together and do something that you're putting off. Thank you so much, Alfredo. I really appreciate that. You too, my friend. Let's just get rid of that. That's not necessary, isn't it? Conflicts, lovely. Thank you so much for subscribing. That's very, very kind of you. That really helps me out a lot. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for subscribing. Zenith, hello. Well, I haven't been going live. I haven't been live in absolutely ages, but it's lovely to see you. How are you doing? I hope everything's okay for you. This is a bit of a productivity stream, so if you've got something you've been putting off that you want someone to, you know, help you along with that, this is the time to do it. But if you just want to hang out and talk to me, you can do that too. Awesome, lovely. I'd love for you to tell me about what D&D you're gonna do. Fantasy. Why is your live so quiet? What, I don't know what you mean by that. As in, I'm quiet? Amazing. That is so cool. I love that. I love that idea. That's so much fun. That's got me thinking now. There we go. In fact, that's a good point. So Zenith, I've formulated my idea now for you. You should look into the concept of animism. And that's basically what a lot of indigenous cultures, so like you've got the Native Americans, and there is also like the Celts and the like druidic practices in the UK. So essentially people believe that nature was a living, breathing concept, and that's why they worshipped it. That's why they did sacrifice and stuff like that to it. So if you want a bit of inspiration for what you're doing with that, it sounds like you've already 2 steps ahead anyway, but I'd definitely look into the concept of animism and it as a religion. Really, really like that idea though, Zenith. That's so cool. Lovely. Interesting. So you are having firearms in your game? Hi, Alfredo. My first mage character too, sick. I really need to start going into I just need to start playing spellcasters. I always, well, if you've learned anything about me, you know that the 2 things that I enjoy is I enjoy paladins and I enjoy bards, and I tend to lean towards those. I've played fighters. I'm going to be playing a ranger in a one-shot coming up soon, which I'm looking forward to. But I need to lean into spellcasters more. The one time I played a spellcaster at a games, like a game that was hosted at a games shop, I was the worst wizard you'd ever known. I was a goblin wizard, but I refused to use spells. But what I did do, my DM absolutely loved me because I was really, really heavily into the role playing and being like imaginative and ingenuitive. So you're in the UK, lovely. But yeah, I tamed a wolf pack, and so I was a little goblin riding a wolf, charging in and just like it was it was a bit bad really because I kind of stole the show. But that's only because the DM let me. To the corruption of a dead queen, she basically forced him to say a line that would shred any dignity. Wow, dark. But yeah, that DM loved me because I was just very, very ingenuitive. I played in another campaign he put on, I played a Goliath barbarian, and it was a seafaring campaign, and a load of Kuatoa, you know, the fish people, they attacked the ship, and so instead of like hitting them and attacking them with my great axe, instead what I was doing, I was picking them up and throwing them at each other. So there was one that like one Kuatoa like jumped up at me, and so I just grabbed him, and there was another Kuatoa coming up from the side of the ship, and I just launched one at the other and just absolutely like obliterated them. It was brilliant. But that's the problem with being a DM, is I'm loving doing it. I'm having so much fun. That's so great. I'm so happy to hear it. I would love, Zenith, are you on my Discord server? Because I would love to start putting on more games for people. Now I'm back in the UK. I've been in Australia for like a few months. So now I'm back in the UK and things are kind of coming around, like I'm getting organised and, you know what I'm doing day to day now. I'd love to put on some games for people that are in my Discord server. So if you're up for that, make sure to join. And anybody else in the chat. And if you are, and while you're here, if you give me a like, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Fancy an entry point to broader learning. Right, okay, focusing on my business plan for 2 minutes now, please, everyone. Hello, folks. Lovely to see a few people in the chat, on the live, should I say. I'm Elle, and I make history and fantasy content. At the moment, I'm working on a business document, so I'm just trying to be productive today. But if you have any questions about history, fantasy, tabletop role-playing games, D&D, all those nerdy things, make sure to throw them in the chat. That'd be awesome. I'm just hanging out, trying to get on with this, trying to be productive. So if you have anything that you've been putting off, we can be productive together, if you like. If not, if you just want to hang out with me, that's absolutely fine too. But yeah, I'm kind of just focusing on this at the moment. But if you want to chat, that's absolutely fine too. But my attention is split. But as soon as you put something in the chat, don't worry, I'll be reading it. Right, where were we? Hello, how are we doing? I'm just working on my business plan at the moment for Grey Wolf Adventuring. So, I mean, if I do this, then hello, JDRD. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for your help. That's amazing. Noah, how are you doing? That's a very good question. So my channel is essentially about history and fantasy. So if you are interested in either of those, you will enjoy it here. I've always been really, really interested in history, even like growing up as a kid. And then a few years ago, got into D&D and live action role play, if you ever heard of that. And so, yeah, from that, Grey Wolf Adventuring was born. So I make a lot of videos about history, historical adventures, and folklore and that kind of thing. All those fantasy kind of elements. And then also, I help people with their tabletop role-playing games and their D&D games, essentially. I'm from the UK. I'm from the United Kingdom, England, north of England to be precise. But yes, so if you've ever been tangentially interested in any of those, I'm Elle, nice to meet you. But yeah, so if you've ever been interested vaguely in any of those, or you're, you have no idea about them whatsoever, this is the place to be. Check out my content and you will learn a lot. The goal eventually is to be able to start actually putting some like publishing some games on here so you can actually watch along as I play D&D with other people. But at the moment, my main priority is finishing this business plan, because as soon as I do this business plan, then I can get some decent photography equipment and make better content for all of you. But yeah, like I've been saying, today this is just a bit of a productivity stream. So if you've got something you've been putting off, if there's some boring coursework, I'm Elliot, nice to meet you. But yeah, and if there's some like coursework that you've been putting off, or there's a deadline that you need to do and you haven't been doing it, yeah, that's what I'd love to do. I've played a lot of D&D games and I've ran a lot of D&D games. I've made my own. I've played like pre-written Dungeons and Dragons adventures. Hello, Boris. Love to see you, my friend. How are you doing? I'm live again. Thank you for the likes as well. That's very, very kind of you all. After all this time, indeed. I'm from the United Kingdom. Which, when you say the full word, it sounds stupidly archaic and old, doesn't it? Kingdom. Kingdom. It's ridiculous. But thank you for the likes. Very much appreciate that. Very kind of you all. Awesome. Noah, great question. Honestly, eBay. It depends on your budget, I think, and how much you want to get into the LARP hobby. Really, really inexpensive places to buy costumes and LARP gear is obviously like AliExpress and places like that. But they will always be, you know, cheap plastic equipment and stuff like that. So it depends really what you're doing. There are dedicated online shops, obviously, and physical shops, but they're harder to find. So yeah, but I would personally, I've found that the best middle of the road is eBay. Get your really, really cheap stuff, the stuff that it's all right if it looks a bit tacky and plastic, from AliExpress and all those kind of very cheap foreign places. But if you want something that's going to look decent, I'd say go for eBay. And if you're really into the hobby and you've got a bit of money to spend, look at dedicated LARP shops. So great example, a lot of this stuff here. So that breastplate I bought off eBay, the Gamerson I bought off eBay, but the guards here, it's really difficult to do like that, and a lot of this stuff I bought off AliExpress, because it's cheap enough and it's like inconsequential enough for you to be able to get away with. But the problem is, if I bought this breastplate off AliExpress, odds are it would not be what it looked like as it was advertised. So eBay's just a bit safer to do that. I would love to make a video about it sooner or later. So thank you for that question. And like I said, well, this is the thing. If you're starting off, don't feel the obligation to get a full suit of armor if you've never been to a LARP before. It's the same as getting into any hobby. You don't want to buy all the equipment immediately, because you might not like it. And also, it's the classic thing of, that bell curve of, you have no idea how you want to play. So there's no point buying loads and loads and loads of stuff if maybe you buy a full suit of armor, then you realize, oh, I actually prefer playing as a spellcaster, that kind of thing. So you're so much better off doing that. It speaks the truth. Thank you so much. Don't eat in Great Britain. All sorts. The national dish is curry. Tikka masala. Is that for real? What, the national dish is curry? Yeah. Tikka masala, butter chicken. Oh, delicious. Yeah, tikka masala was invented in Glasgow, I think, in Scotland. Oh, mate, you're missing out. Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, that's the thing, right? Cultures combine. It's a story that never stops being told, and I think that's the kind of thing that I enjoy about the kind of content that I create as well. Like, I do talk about cultures, and I contemplate cultures when I'm creating fantasy worlds. You know, it's a conversation that's continually happening, and that's the fascinating thing about it. You know, these different inputs, these different inspirations continually occur because of exterior forces, and that's the fascinating thing, and that's what's interesting. You know, especially about the UK. The UK is a country of different cultures, historically. You know, there are the original indigenous cultures, which is of the Celts and the Picts, which are the indigenous tribes of the UK. So, and that goes back, you know, since cave people times, since ancient times. And then we had one invasion after another, after another, after another. So we had the Romans, and their fortifications are still in this country to this day, and their inspiration still in this culture to this day. Then we had the Vikings, or the Norse, and the Normans. And this conversation, yes, there we go, filthy Saxons. And this conversation continually happens. You know, so it's ridiculous to say that there's one kind of culture in any nation, because that conversation, like I said, is ongoing, always. Things continually evolve and change, and that's what's fascinating, and thus why the national dish of the UK is tikka masala. It's almost a religion. I've never heard of that. Interesting. I'll have to try and find some Bulgarian yogurt at some point. Fascinating. Oh right, okay, I know what you mean. Fantastic. I quite like a sour yogurt, to be honest. I prefer that to like a sweet yogurt. I'm not a very sweet kind of person. I like chocolate, but like in terms of like desserts, I'm not a massive. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a massive dessert person generally. Interesting. Lovely, mate. Great to see you. I promise to be doing more of these lives again because they're so helpful. Have fun playing bass. I'll speak to you soon. Right, I have been live for over an hour now, so I'm going to have a little break. But thank you so much for joining, everybody. If you'd like to see these lives again, or if you're interested in history and fantasy and all those nerdy things, please make sure to give me a follow. I'd really appreciate it to help my channel grow. We can, do this again very, very shortly. In the meantime, have a look at my content. If you enjoy it, make sure to give it a like and a comment. And hopefully I'll see you around.